Welcome or welcome back. I come to you from the inside of Project White Trash for the first time in quite a while. Beautiful and majestic, isn't it? Just such a glorious machine. If you're not familiar with white trash, which is the car, not me, or whatever, for the purpose of this video, the white trash is the car. This is my 1988 Ford Mustang GT that I've had since I was a teenager. I took it apart in 1999 in my early 20s, put a roll cage in it, which, legitimate roll cage for drag racing. Then I stripped the entire rest of the car, front to back, top to bottom, to do a little street renegade racing, which never happened. I could never afford to get it all together. This thing has sat around since 1999. It is now February 2026. And the last couple of years, my son and I have been trying to put it back together. Oh yeah, Junior's not here. He's in school. But anyway, I've got some little things I'm going to try to do this thing. It's February, and in May, I'd really like this thing on the road for my birthday. I've got a special event in May I'd really like to get to. So I'm really desperate to get this thing at least legal. Cue Morgan Freeman's voice as a narrator saying it is definitely not going to be legal by May. I'm going to try a few things today. I'm going to try to get the electrical system rigged, hook up my alternator. With an alternator, I actually start charging my battery, and then I can start wiring up the rest of my system, trying to figure out my lighting, my dashboard, and all that. Anyway, let's get started. So I'm going to try to get started on getting the alternator wired up here in white trash. I can't remember what the two different harnesses did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up the car, and I'm going to see if I can get a reading on these and see what's hot. I figure if nothing else, even if I can't find the wiring harness, maybe I could just wire something directly from one of these ports over to the battery just to charge up the battery. I know this is internally regulated. I don't remember what hooks up into what. I'm going to try to figure out what's got power and what doesn't. I did finally find my alternator wiring harness for the car. It is pretty butchered and chopped up. I can't remember what goes to what. The only thing I know for sure is there's a ground down there. I think this yellow wire is the hot wire. Not 100%. I'm going to hook it up, run the car, see what I can figure out. Got a whole bunch of bare wire in this harness. I'm just going to try to kind of keep it away from things that are metallic. Let's see if this thing's going to start. Let's close the choke. Give it a couple of pumps of the gas, a couple of squirts of the accelerator pump. Let's see. Come on, baby. Oh, yeah, the fuel pump isn't pulling fuel for a while. This is going to take a minute. Definitely have to do something about this fuel pump not getting fuel to the carburetor for such a long period of time. This poor starter is dying. There we go. Oh no, that was just accelerator pump. Come on, baby. There we go. Oh, come on. Oh. Dang it. All right, finally got it going after a minute. It takes a minute for the fuel pump to bring up fuel, but now it's idling and running. All right, we got a good idle now. Let's see what the alternator is doing, if it's doing anything. So I probed the alternator with and without the wiring harness on, and from everything I can find, this alternator is just dead. It is producing no signal at all from any point. So I think I just have to get a new alternator. So hard to hear myself think with the car idling that loud. I finally went and got the old carburetor stud off the old carburetor. I'm going to swap this out. I am tired of dealing with this insanity. This thing pops off every time I give it throttle. Swap that out, and I'm going to finally fix the choke cable. Finally. Oh, this thing isn't all that tight either. It just doesn't want to clamp on here, but hopefully that won't pop off every time I touch the gas pedal. Finally trimmed and cut off the choke cable a little bit. It's not as tight as I'd like it. I also lubed the choke assembly because this thing was stiff. Put a little bit of lube down the cable assembly itself because I was never really able to get the choke to open fully and close fully with the cable. It seems to be moving a whole lot better now. It's a whole lot smoother. I lubed the whole thing top to bottom. So yeah. All right. So hopefully this thing will be easier to get to start and idle and run. Oh yeah. Choke cable is much easier to operate. Of course, it'd be even easier if I had it mounted, or I could do this one-handed easily, but the choke actually moves a little with a little bit of lubricant. So hopefully this thing, I can actually get to start and idle and not have to screw around with it for so long. Come on, don't embarrass me. Oh, does the throttle work? Yes, the throttle works now. Oh, helps I turn on the ignition. All right, fire's right to life. Good deal. And I can give it throttle input. I'm digging it. She's idling so beautifully. I know, it washes out the camera and you can't tell that it's idling beautifully. The cam sounds amazing. The camera doesn't pick it up, I know. Well, that is enough of sitting around and listening to this thing idle and sound beautiful. I am now making another attempt to try to figure out how to get the dash bracket in. So I can get one bolt on each side to line up. Down there on each side, I can get that far bottom bolt right there to line up. And nothing else. So I'm definitely missing some pieces. I just don't know what I'm missing. Over here, if you lift up this end and line it up, that bolt hole lines up over here. But nothing else lines up. There's random bolt holes and nut certs and everything, but I don't have anything to hook them to. I'm not sure what I'm missing. I'm going to cheat and go online and look at pictures and try to figure this out. It's a while later and I cheated and I went online, and this is a steering column support bracket. It's been sitting in here a while. I assumed it did something. I didn't know what. Still don't know where it goes though. Having a lot of trouble finding pictures and a diagram of how to install this and what mounts what to what. Really on the struggle bus right now. I am going to go try to find a couple of bolts though, try to mount these up just to get that started. And I did discover that this goes on here. So I can hook that together. I can get at least 3 points of contact. And I'm also kind of learning the hard way that life would have been a lot easier if I didn't run any of this wiring until after the dash was installed. So I may have to go backwards and undo a lot of what I'm doing and start over. Good times. Feeling a little better now. I can't put it all together yet. I'm not sure this is related, but I know these two things are under dash brackets and are very important. I don't know why I painted one of them. The others were like under a seat, so I guess that's why I didn't paint them. But I'm gonna go see if I can mock them up and figure it out. Start trying to find bolts to make all this go back together. I had to stop what I was doing. I had to come through here, disconnect a bunch of stuff, zip tie up this wiring harness, all this stuff out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. And I found out where this goes. And what I didn't realize is I didn't have this piece when I started putting this together. So I just ran these two bolts through it thinking that this was the only part of the bracket. So I've got to tighten this down and run these, take these bolts out, take these out, and run this through here. Because I didn't realize I was missing that before. That'll be the next thing I got to do. All right, the first progress in a long time. The steering wheel is 100 times stiffer now. That is incredible. Oh man, this bracket in place feels so much better. I can actually pull on it and put a weight on it and it holds still now. That's awesome. I know. I should have painted this. I'll probably at least prime it, put some rust reformer on it here soon before I put the dash all the way in, but I was too excited to get this together. I am still striking out on where this goes. This goes in here somewhere and helps hold up the steering wheel. And I have no idea where it goes. Wait, hold on. No, doesn't go under here anywhere. Yeah, I thought maybe this mounted on here, but it doesn't fit. Yeah, I'm also striking out on pictures online. Having a lot of trouble figuring out this bracket stuff because there are very few pictures. Everyone focuses on installing the actual plastic dash cover with the air vents and all that. I can't find anything about the dash bracketry. It seems no one ever removes it. Or I guess if they do remove it, they don't wait 26 years to put it back and they can remember how it goes. There's always a chance it's that. Finally found a picture that shows this weird brace going from under here to over here. Problem is, no matter how I bend it or move it, it doesn't actually line up with anything. Oh, well, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I run a bolt right there. Let's see. I am a genius. Yes. I got that bracket in. That is helping hold all this wiring up. Steering wheel's even firmer now. This is amazing. This is progress for the first time in so many years. Still missing a lot of the top brackets, but I got bolts in here. I've got this seated, just with only the two bottom bolts in. Not a lot holding it. Found a lot of little brackets in this car, but I think that's a fender bracket. Got a bunch of weird random stuff, but I'm also kind of out of resources online. I can't find anything online that shows me what brackets I'm missing and what I need to do to support this, because as far as I can tell, this is incorrectly, but there's nothing to mount that to over there. Really confused. Finally found a couple more pictures online. So apparently that does go up there. It is a dash bracket, but I'm missing a piece that comes across to mount that. Kind of out of brackets in the car. Not sure where else they'd be. I'm guessing they got repurposed throughout the 26 years in the garage and have made their way elsewhere. I may have to do a whole bunch of custom fabricating and make some custom brackets for this thing. I'm not really sure. I just realized something as I was kicking my gas pedal. It was flopping around side to side. That bolt back there was super, super loose. So my pedals were just flopping around. Now I've got a nice, good, firm pedal. Much better. Just completely unrelated to this project. Just something that helps a lot. So I've searched the car. I've searched all my buckets of random car parts, and I cannot find any more brackets. I think I'm legitimately out of brackets now. I'm going to have to custom make things. I'm going to see what I can do with stuff like this, just to try to make some kind of mounting bracket, maybe with some self-tappers to go over there. Just try to run some custom bent stuff to hold this up so I can mount the dash in here. Another thing I want to get done tomorrow or next week or something is my heater core box, my HVAC box. I cannot find it. My garage is a complete nightmare right now. It's like post-apocalyptic in there, so I can't find it. Hoping I can find it maybe next weekend when I clear everything out, do a little work around the garage. But pretty much out of time today, pretty much out of daylight. So I feel happy about what I got accomplished. I'm excited about this, but I'm going to call it a day and move on. And hopefully I'll get to come back tomorrow and do a little bit of this. It's the next day. Unfortunately, it's gotten cold again, or cold for us Texans anyway. I'll see what I can get done today. Sadly, I have not been able to find my HVAC box, my heater core and all that stuff. It's really disappointing. I'm going to have to do some more garage clean out, but I'm probably not going to get to that until next week. Looking online at some pictures, I'm really hesitant to try to make brackets, custom brackets myself. I could easily mount this without a problem. My concern is going to be the shape of the factory brackets and whether it interferes with the factory dash and heater box and other things. Here's the factory dashboard, and I could try mocking it up, but if I make a bunch of custom brackets and they don't fit, I can't have them hitting all this stuff. So I'm not really sure what to do. I'm going to try to talk to a couple of friends and see if they know where to get some brackets or the dimensions that I'd need to make it fit. But I think the dashboard and the heater core are going to have to be put on hold for a little while. It really shouldn't be a priority, but I think the next thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to pull the seats out, start cleaning up, clean up the roll cage. As you can see, I mean, my seats are filthy anyway, but this roll cage is rubbing off all this rust all over the seats. Maybe get, oh, that's one of Junior's seats out of the piece of staying. We need to get those back in there someday. I think I'm going to try to swap the factory seats back in if I can find some manual seat brackets. And I think I'm going to paint the roll cage, because the roll cage has been raw for 26 going on 27 years. Yeah, I think I'm going to clean this up and maybe get a layer of primer on that at least. Forgot to mention the alternator. So I thought I had another alternator sitting around here. I do not. I thought I had Junior's original one, but I forgot it fried, and traded in as a core on his new one, which is not doing a very good job in that car. So I think what we're going to do is take the voltage regulator and the alternator off of that one and put it on this car. Once we get a new alternator for that car, we're going to get a whole new system for that car so it can keep up for daily driving. We'll throw that one in here since this thing's not on the road yet, and we'll take it from there. I am back from the store with some rust reformer. I decided to put a layer of rust reformer down before putting any paint or anything because of how much rust is on this. I was trying to sand it all off. It's like, that's a lot of work. I'm just going to spray rust reformer over it and carry on from there. I took Project Piece of Stang down to the parts store. I'm kind of torture testing it right now because of its electrical issues in the alternator. It seems that if just the headlight's on, it's doing fine. I changed some wiring on it, didn't record it. But the headlight's on, it's fine. Turn on the blower motor for the defroster and things go badly. So I'm thinking we have a shorted out motor in the dash of it. But that's another video someday. Back to this car. I have the back bars sprayed most of the way up. They're gonna dry flat black, and then I'll go back some other day and gloss them up. I'm not sure if I'm gonna paint them black or white. I haven't figured it out yet. My errands took a lot more time than I was expecting today, and I need to pull the seats to spray the rest of this roll cage. I'm probably not gonna get to that today. I'll spray it again when I come back next week. I think I'm gonna content myself with just spraying that piece real quick. On second thought, I'll just wait and do it. I'll just take it all back apart when I come back next week and spray it. Now that I know how it goes together, it shouldn't be difficult. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. I didn't get much done. I had to stop and go do a bunch of stuff. It's a week later. I'm finally back to work on White Trash a little. And look who's joining us. Welcome back, the boy.
Hello.
Now that I have a sleigh assistant, I'm going to pull these seats, do some sweet seat bracket swaps. I'm going to try to get Junior's seat from Piece of Stang in the garage and get the original seats to White Trash back out here. We're going to at least rust reform the roll cage, if not paint it fully. And then when we get in the garage, we're going to try to find the under dash HVAC system for it. Sleigh assistant, I demand you pull my seats for me, the boy. With more excitement, boy.
Okay.
So I didn't even realize I did this, but I stuck this seat out of Piece of Stang in the boys' car to sit in these last few months. Didn't even realize it didn't have a bracket on it. It's just sitting on the floor. It's actually pretty comfortable. I like where it sat. But anyway, we got to see if we even have manual seat brackets to put on this thing. I don't know that we do. As is usually the case around here, we are working on multiple projects at once. Junior's taking the seat brackets off of that. We're gonna do a seat swap here in white trash, put the factory seats back in, try to put Junior's factory seats back in piece of stang. Why are you lying down on the job, boy? What? Trying to figure out the seats on white trash. I wanted to put a manual seat in the driver's side for adjustability and just leave the one over here just mounted with one of my broken electric seats. But this electric seat, this bracket is broken off. Might have to weld a custom bracket into that. This one has 3 bolt holes. This snapped off, this front piece. So that's going to be a tripod. So neither one of these are in working order. Never even noticed I left the roll cage raw so long. The original tags are still partially up here. Can't read them anymore, but shipping date sometime in 1998, I believe. And this is kind of cool. In a pile of random stuff over here, I found some of my dash bracket bolts that I'm going to need. I think I found 4 of them. So, oh, that's a little different. That's not one of them, but these will definitely help me get this thing back together if I can ever figure out the bracket system on this thing and how it all attaches. Just now noticing this is not the best welded roll cage in the world. I did not weld the roll cage because I did not have welding equipment back in the 90s. But man, they just kind of barely tacked it in here, and I guess they're hoping to hide it under carpet. I mean, it's plenty strong for my purposes, but the NHRA and the IHRA definitely would not like that. Good news, everybody. I finally dug out my HVAC stuff from inside the garage. And I'm sure that blower motor, that almost 40-year-old blower motor, is going to work perfectly fine. I'm no doubt whatsoever. But anyway, it's all complete. The only thing I'm missing is a couple of nuts to go through the firewall to mount this thing. And everything else is here, just like the day I took it out. Found a couple of nuts and washers for the firewall bolts. I was going to try to wash this thing off really well, but I really don't feel like waiting for it to dry. I really just want to get it installed. I mean, I'm not putting power to it today, so I guess I can rinse it off. It won't be a big deal, but I really just want to install it. But I don't want it that filthy. Maybe I'll just dust it off with a towel. Super bad idea. Who would have thought 26 years of dust would be a lot of dust? I gotta rinse it off. I can't handle that. Entirely way too dirty and dusty for me to be handling and messing with. So, just spray it down, let it drip dry, and I guess I'll install it tomorrow probably. I have decided to install my heater core box and everything. I'm gonna go ahead and get that out of the way now. Well, I've got a helper, and I'm just realizing how big a mistake it was to have my dashboard bracket installed first, and some of this wiring's probably gonna have to go also. Definitely have to move the choke cable. Boy, go pull this choke cable out of here. We gotta move it so we can install this heater. It is wetter than I initially thought. I'll flip that over and shake it out just a little bit. Not that all that water is gonna affect those 40-year-old electronics that aren't gonna work anyway. Whatever. So the dash bracket definitely had to come all the way out. I'm going to try to stab this thing. The boy is going to be ready with the nuts and washers, and he's going to try to bolt it in place when I get it held up there. That actually wasn't that bad at all with him on the outside. Now, doing it on my own would have been pretty hard because I couldn't get it to stay in place until he put those nuts and washers on. But there we go. There's the heater core and the heater box. So that's awesome. Just 2 bolts. I was telling the boy, if you've never changed one of these heater cores, probably should have done it now while this was out like that, but I didn't because I am dumb. But whatever. I don't remember it leaking. I think my heater worked. I'm not sure. Guess we'll find out soon. It was 12 degrees 10 days ago. Now it was 40 degrees when we started. Now it's 80 degrees and we are sweating out here in white trash. Got the dash bracket back in front of the heater core. That's all ready to go. Thing I need to do now is get electrical back in the car. And you'll notice the ignition switch is gone. I put it in the black car, the piece of stang, because of reasons. There are issues with that car. And now I've got this. I need to wire it from scratch. And I need to reinstall the little aftermarket fuse box. Right now the car is completely dead. I had to install the dash a couple of times, take it out a couple of times to run some more wiring. Got the steering column hooked back up. I got main power back in to the fuse box through this nightmare. But about time to call it quits for the day. Got a couple other things I have to go do, non-car related. Then I have to go to work tonight. Tomorrow I'll come back out here and I'm going to try to wire this up, make a couple mounting brackets and wire this all up into the fuse box for the ignition switch. And then I might, if I can find a place to mount it, I might hook up the tachometer, the inside tachometer, not to be confused with the tachometer that's under the hood. It's the next day. I do not have a lot of time today. I have to go into work in a few hours for some overtime. I think the goal for today is just to get the ignition switch wired in this thing, maybe the tach if things are going quickly enough, and that way I can start this car again and move it if I need to. Behold, mounting brackets. I'm practically an engineer, aren't I?
No.
So I have this all wired up, just sitting here. I'm not going to mount it till I know if this works. Let's just say I have reason to question the wiring diagram provided. Don't think it's going to trip the starter motor. It just doesn't seem like it's wired correctly. I'm not really liking the wiring diagram that was provided, but I'm not a wiring guy, so I could be wrong. Let's see what happens. Okay, well that lit up. That's good. I still don't think this thing is going to trigger the starter though. It is not. That's what I thought. Yeah, something ain't right. Moved a couple of wires around and now the engine start button has power. Let's see. Still not triggering the relay. Oh, these aren't wired up. They won't matter. All right, I got to probe the relay, see if it's getting power. A few changes later, let's see what happens. Yes. All right, we're back in business. So this relay that they sold with this kit, I could never get it to trigger, and the wiring diagram didn't make any sense. There was no, it just wasn't wired into the starter solenoid properly. So I just went and rewired it myself. I just powered the back of the switch, and then I put this on the solenoid trigger, and then I put this on the solenoid power, and now it fires. So I am happy. So stupid Amazon kit. Don't have any seats in here, but let's see if I can get her to fire. How warm is it today, boy? It's like 80 degrees.
Like 70.
Go see if we have fuel pressure. I know we don't.
It's 72.
Any fuel pressure?
No.
No, I didn't think so. All right. This crap again. Well, we know that the ignition system works now, but we're not getting any fuel of the carburetor again for an extended period of time. All right, so we've got accelerator pump. It should be starting. And you said the MSD box is firing? Okay, let's try that again with more accelerator pump. Oh, there we go. Hey, is that firing the accelerator pump when I hit the throttle like that? Is the fuel spraying into the carburetor when I pump the throttle? Okay. There we go. Come on, baby. Oh, maybe I should unchoke it a little. It is warm today. That's annoying. A little more choke. Too much choke. I'll get it one of these days. There we go, we're running again, yay! All right, we're back to starting and idling and everything. So I guess I need to shut it off and remount all that stuff so I can use it permanently so I can get on with wiring the rest of the car. Everything is mounted. It isn't pretty, but it's functional. That's all I care about. So, speaking of not pretty, I'm mounting the old tack out of Junior's car up here. I've just got a zip tie through it. Just going to hold it right here. And yes, I'm mounting it sideways like this because I prefer the numbers that way. Sue me. Wire this up and make sure it works. All right, let's see if it's got power. Let's see. Oh yeah. All right. So we got power. Let's see if it reads when we start it. Yes, it does. All right. We're still in the fast idle cam because we've never actually really warmed it up today. I just keep turning it on and off. All right. Oh, come on, idle, baby. Let's compare tachometers. This says like 700. And this says like 850. It's kind of close enough. This one's fluttering a little bit too, so they're close enough. The one under the hood has never been exactly accurate. I would trust the odometer on the dash more, but they're both working. I'm happy. It's a few days later. I've had other things to do. I'm back on white trash now. I'm not sure how much I'm going to get done. Came out here with the plan to finish spraying the inside of the roll cage, painting it, getting it cleaned up. That way I could put my seats in here without a bunch of rust rubbing off all over them. Apparently whatever coat of paint I used last time to paint this is reacting poorly with the coat of paint that I'm using this time. I think it was Rust Reformer last time. Normally handles paint really well. Had several days to dry. Things are not going well. Not sure what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to wait for this to dry. I'm definitely going to have to go and get some stuff to paint by brush to put on here because this spray paint just isn't working. It's taken twice as much paint as I anticipated for this little bit of metal just because the pipes are so small. Half what I'm spraying is just floating off into the atmosphere. Anyway, not a whole lot going on today. The seats aren't going to go in. Did get a little bit of good news though for white trash. I am not going to have to use these garbage, old, rotten, ruined electric seat brackets. We haven't had 2 extra manual seat brackets sitting around here. I don't know what they came off of, where we got them, why we have them, but they fit the Mustang. They bolted right in, so they must be off a Ford product of some kind. So I can just put my seats right back in. That is, if I had any bolts or studs to mount them with. I currently do not. So I'm going to have to rectify that situation. I'm going to have to go get a few new ones to bolt these things in. But almost got seats. This pleases me. I'm back. I've got new bolts to bolt down the seats in white trash. I forgot to get an M10 by 1.5 nut for the front stud. So I just went ahead and pulled the stud. It came out easy. I'm just going to replace it with the bolt. I do not know how I ever had these seats in this car with this roll cage. I can get one bolt at a time in the seat and then just cockeyes the whole seat beyond belief. I can't get to slide forward or back. The controls over here are hitting, but I mean, these things used to be in it and they came out of it. I am really struggling. These seats are so far off from sitting properly, it's unreal. I've had to take a huge bolt here, like a 4-inch bolt, and start it way up here and try to pull this down into shape. That's just how far off everything is. I'm just gonna get this one seat bolted in so I can move the car and call it a day. There's I'm gonna have to come back out here and either re-drill seat brackets or something. These are different seat brackets than used to be in it. They're not the originals. I'm not sure which ones are the originals, but this isn't them. So things aren't lining up. The seat is completely leaning against the roll cage. You can see how bad it is. This dial is leaning all the way against it, so the seat won't go any further up, and there's just no way around that. So the seat is going to be completely immobile, but at least I'll be able to move the car. Good grief. Even with the front two bolts fully in, these rear bolt holes are nowhere near close. The seat's not even sitting down on the floor in the back. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. Let's see if the seat will move at all. I don't think it will. Yeah, the seat is completely locked in place. I can pretty much reach the clutch, but there's no adjustability. This knob is the problem. It's hitting the roll bar. I need it to come forward about another inch, and I just don't have an inch that I can move. I mean, I can operate the pedals, but I wouldn't want to drive it like this. I am way out of line here. That's all the time I have for today. I don't know if I'll get to come back and mess with this car again anytime soon. This is kind of my chance. I got most of the roll cage painted. I got one seat in, but I got to come back and do something about this seat. This isn't usable. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to do that or not, but hopefully I will here soon. I was looking at the seats, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come out here in a few days. I think I'm just gonna swap the seats side to side and put the controls on the inside, because there is more room over here and nothing for them to hit. So I think that's just what I'm going to do. I'm not going to use those controls anyway. There's no getting in the back seat. There's really no adjusting anything. I just want to be able to slide back and forth, and that's it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. It's a few days later. I'm not even sure where I left off with this, except I was frustrated and angry and just left. I'm back out here to evaluate things again. There is no way on earth I'm going to be able to get these bolts in the rear to go in. And even if I did, somehow the seats wouldn't move. So I'm going to yank the seat. First thing I'm going to try to do is swap the seats, try to put the passenger seat in here, see if there's any chance it'll line up. If that doesn't work, I'm going to have to cut, chop, weld, re-drill. I'm going to have to do something to the seat brackets. I'm not sure what. Swap the seats side to side, put the passenger seat in, and it does fit in better. It fits a little bit easier, but the holes still don't line up. It's closer than it was. In fact, it's close enough I could probably just ream out, stretch out these bolt holes a little side to side, and I could probably make it fit. But then now this control over here is right up against this center hump, and there's not even a center console in the car yet. So that's not really going to work either. I think I'm going to have to go with the driver's seat on the driver's side, and then just try to modify the seat brackets to fit around the roll cage somehow. I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to extend these bolt holes, and I'm just going to open them up so I can scoot the driver's seat towards the center a little bit. And I'm just going to open these up as far as I can with a drill or a Dremel or something, and see if I can get them to mount up. And all I really need is like an 1/8 inch of clearance, so I can just scoot the seat forward and back a couple of inches. Not sure if that's going to be enough, but I'm going to try it. I didn't really want to do this. There wasn't a lot of extra room on that one, but I'm going to give this a shot and see if this will work at all. If not, then I'm going to have to weld on something additional to space this thing out. Hey, that worked. I've got all 4 bolts in. I mean, it worked to an extent. Can't really demonstrate with one hand, but I have probably 1 inch, maybe 2 inches of throw. Let's see if I can reach the pedals this way. Can't really videotape it very well, but let's see. I get that much throw. Let's see, compared to the transmission hump. Probably 1 inch, 1.5 inches at most. It's not really any better than it was, but I mean, I do have a seat mounted in the car. I can reach the pedals, even though I feel like I need blocks on the pedals to reach the clutch, but it'll work for now. I'm just gonna call this good for now. I guess I can test fit the other seat real quick and see if I can get it to fit also. I guess I'll just go ahead and drill out the other bracket beforehand. I now have white trash warming up and idling. Gonna install the other seat, and I got a big old puddle of water here. I'm not really sure why. I guess something in my door seal isn't sealing. I thought it was fine. Really don't want to, but I'm gonna have to punch a little bitty hole right here in the floorboard until I can get this problem taken care of. Or never mind, I can just pull the drain plug and slosh the water out that way. Most of it will go. This side is infinitely worse. Whatever this seat bracket is, it is nowhere close. With the brackets all the way up, this is already hitting. So this is for a completely different make and model of car. This seat bracket is not going to work at all. I don't know what I'm going to do. The only thing I can really do on this is weld all new brackets with all new holes on the front of this. Maybe that'll work, but that's a no-go for now. It's a couple days later. I bought some stuff to weld some new brackets for the seat, and I just realized, I know they're not supposed to turn around, but what if I just turn this seat bracket the other way and face the bolt holes out? Maybe that would space this seat far enough over that I would ride normally. Now the other seat bracket isn't able to do that. The other seat brackets are one piece with a crossbar. This is not. This is two separate individual brackets that may or may not even go together. Now I got that one bracket swapped over. I'm not sure that's gonna do what I wanted it to do, but let's go see. It's hard to believe, but that actually made things worse. I gotta put it back the way it was. And then I guess I have to weld on some tabs or something to space the seat over. I've spent so much time messing with these seats, and you see where the bolt holes are versus the actual brackets. I'm out of daylight today, been doing other things, and I'm out of patience. I'm pretty frustrated with this. I just want to be able to sit in my seat. The seat cannot come over. It's even worse than the driver's seat. It can't come over this way any at all. Those brackets are never going to work, so I've got another plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little metal brackets and I'm going to weld them onto the back here. I'm going to drill a hole down here, weld this in here, and then in this one, since it's flat, I'm just going to extend this with a piece of metal, drill a hole in it, and I'm just going to weld them all together, front and back, and that's how I'm going to handle this. Same thing here. I'm just going to get flat metal and extend a flat piece of metal out to the bolt hole, punch holes in it, and just run a bolt through it and be done with it. I'm really tired of this. That is a future Kris problem. I'm done with this for the day. Kind of tired. I'll be back in a few days to get that done. Maybe have the boy do it for me. It's a few days later. I'm ready to get the seat mounted in this car and be done working on cars for a little while. Get this thing bolted in, weld up these brackets, and quit working on cars for a few days. I'm either working or working on cars and I'm kind of tired of it. So let's get this thing going. So here's what I've come up with. This will have to be a little L bracket because the seat's going to be right here. I cannot find the nut to hold that down, but that'll rest against that bracket. The rest of these are going to be flat. The seat bracket's going to sit on top of these, offsetting the factory bolt hole, and then I'm going to tack the bracket onto this. Then I'll pull the seat out and fully weld it. So here's what I'm going for. You can see there, that's going to lie on that. It's not lying exactly flush because of the shape of the floorboard and stuff. I'll get it figured out. I'm just going to tack these into place. Got those held by a vice grip. These are just lying on the brackets back here. Where's that one? Over there. And once I get them tacked into place, I'll take the seat out and I'll finish welding them, and then I'll screw it back in. This front one tacked okay. It went on all right. This one is, the others aren't really touching. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit in the seat. It's like this one back here. The bracket isn't even touching So that isn't going to work. I can't even see if that's on camera. Yeah. So I'm going to sit in the seat. The boy is going to weld.
Yep.
This did not work. I'm sitting on it. I'm leaning all my weight on it, and the bracket still is not touching. So I'm not sure what is going on here. So the boy is going to lay down and go at the bracket from back here while I sit in the seat to kind of push it down onto the bracket. But you can see the curvature of the floor and the curvature of the seat is kind of fighting against us down there a little bit. I'm sitting in the seat, and the boy is back here welding the brackets together. All right, that one is all tacked up. Junior got that one. Good job, boy. My tack welds all broke when we were moving the seat around, so I've got to retack all of my stuff. I guess I didn't use enough heat, didn't have enough wire speed, enough heat. They all popped loose. I got the seat out. 3/4 of the brackets are really secure. This front driver's side piece just would not tack on, so I'm going to clean that up and tack that back in, or finish weld it while it's out of the car. But the other 3 did really well. Okay, the seat is in. It is not perfect, but it is installed. All 4 bolts are in. Somehow, some way, I've managed to bind up the bracket. It won't slide forward or back. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'll have to mess with it some other day, but that is it. The seat is in. I am happy enough. It's secure enough. Seat will not slide, but whatever. I'm seated in the passenger side of white trash fairly comfortably in my factory seat, and this makes me smile. I am pleased. So, oh well, it's good enough. I'm tired. And on that note, I am done. I am done working on the car for a little while until I get the title issues and things like that straightened out. Got the seats in it. It starts and runs all the time. I'm going to take a little sabbatical from working on this thing and do some other things. Got the family cleaning out our nightmare of a garage. I'm going to go join them, hopefully organize some things so I can find some tools and equipment easier. But thank you for watching. I appreciate the support. Y'all have a great day. Catch you next time.